Welcome everyone, Christine here with a discussion about Skarbrand in patch 6.0 coming alongside Omens of Destruction DLC. So things are changed for Skarbrand. If you want just a quick impression, I would say his campaign is a bit slower early on, so no more turn 10 campaign winning situation. But it does have more flexibility, it does have more unit variety, it's not just a one-note campaign anymore. One of the things I've noticed even before Omens of Destruction, I think it was a patch, I just forgot where it was mentioned, but one of the things I've certainly noticed is that when you raise this element, you're no longer gaining the same kind of movement range as before. You still gain movement range for winning battles, but that's either intrinsically tied to Khorne or through Skeleton. So one of the things every single Khorne Legendary Lord gets, or every Lord, is Blood God's Vigor. So you get 20% campaign movement range after winning a battle, 10% campaign movement range after raising a settlement, upgraded at level 8. So that's something that all Khorne Lords do have, some kind of movement range that you do have after winning a battle or raising a settlement. It's no longer just unique to Skarbrand himself. But crucially, when you raise the settlement beforehand, the way it would work, by the way, is that you would want to have your back in the direction you want it to go in. You will get some movement range, you will move in that direction, but it won't necessarily be as much as you want it to be. Also, because you no longer generate growth for bloodletting, you actually want to occupy your initial province and get a bunch of the growth buildings over here. That is a change. So that's what I mean about this slower. And you also want to change this element from demonic to immortal. It would be better if it already started it as mortal. I'm gonna freaking lie on that, but well, we can't pick everything. And yeah, I would just sell that building over here in turn 1, because you don't need it. You don't need it for bloodletters. You can recruit bloodletters from demonic settlements. I think I'll keep that one as demonic. There's of course other things as well that have been changed. Your faction effects now give you... You no longer have campaign movement range for faction effects. You did. You get +1 turns to initial Bloodthirst attrition immunity and +2 Bloodthirst creation. And you do keep 10% campaign movement range over here for a special skill line after winning a battle. And then Bloodthirst free units on creation all characters faction-wide and replenishes 15% campaign movement range. So 15%, +10%, 25%, +30%. You can still get a bunch of movement range. You don't have the Unholy Manifestation that gives you a lot of campaign movement range, though the Eternal War will give you obviously some campaign movement range, because again, all Khorne characters do have some level of being able to gain campaign movement range for fighting battles. But yeah, you would want to at least take your initial province over here, because one, you can recruit units locally for much cheaper than you can globally. Finally, that is something that Skarbrand can finally do. He couldn't before. So, your initial movement, like your turn 1 movement, you won't be able to reach, you would struggle to reach the second current march after raising this settlement. And you don't want to raise this settlement. You want to occupy, you want to get the growth, you want to get your initial province to get a greater unit variety, to have better army strength, to get more heroes. All Khorne heroes are now recruited at tier 2. So you do start with tier 2 settlement, so that means you can do it. But very importantly, we do want to actually move him over here so we can maybe get to Gorgazon. Like, you do have possibly enough skulls to get Gorgazon over here on turn 1. On turn 2, sorry. So just get rid of this, get the skulls. Maybe.
Blood awaits elsewhere.
And I'm just gonna get some global blood letters, because why not? But there are more long-term benefits, right? So the beginning portion might be a bit slower, but there will certainly be a payoff with regards to all of this. later down the line in this campaign. So let me show how that is. But I would strongly recommend, as things currently stand, to occupy this initial province when you are playing Skarbrand's campaign. Just for the growth aspect, which will allow you to get access to higher level settlements, all that kind of stuff. And research-wise, because of the changes to research, you'd probably want war leaders, and you probably would want, you know, like you would want war leaders for the hero capacity for cultists, and then to get Way of Wrath for the construction time for buildings. That's something I would personally recommend. So we got enough skulls right here, just barely enough skulls. It's a bit annoying you always occupy a settlement as a demon settlement. That is certainly a bit annoying. I crave bloodshed. But hey, we can get rid of this, and what you'd want to do here is like, yeah, just get rid of that building, get the extra growth over here. Like, you do want control of the entire province, partly because obviously settlements do give growth, and also partly because you do want the commandment over there. So that's what you do early on, and then, yeah, you can burn your way through Stormhenge, all that kind of stuff, right? With the new Skull Throne tree, you'd probably want to get the post-battle loot initially, and then, yeah, just get the skulls from Stormhenge, all that. Forced to get blood letters. Forced, like, I wish... I think it would make sense if when you're occupying a settlement as Khorne, you could choose to have it either Immortal settlement or Demonic settlement, regardless of what you started with. It would actually make campaign starts a lot better, I think. So long term, in a Skarbrand campaign, or longer term campaign, you will have a lot more unit variety. So over here, turn 26, I have Chosen, I have Regiments Renown, I have Ogre Mercenaries, Cast Knights of Khorne, more Regiments Renown. Also have another army with quite a few units as well, right here. And I'm also getting a settlement to tier 4, which will unlock Wrathmongers, Chosen of Khorne, dual weapons, Cast Knights of Khorne with lances. And if I really want to, I could potentially also convert it into a demon settlement and, you know, get skull cannons and all that kind of stuff. Something you would never do in a basic campaign. And crucially, I would even get freaking Minotaurs of Khorne over here. And not just that, it's not just the unit diversity though. It's also what I've been doing in this campaign. So in this campaign, I marched all the way here, then I used a cultist to create a cult right here. Ravaged Camry, then got the cult in Iron Rock, saved Gorbat, vassalized Gorbat, went back down here, beat up Dworzak, got his defeat rate. Believe I have it. Let's take a look at that defeat rate. So yeah, so dwarves, Forgrim, yeah, there we go. 10% physical resistance right there. Getting one of the legendary heroes is a bit annoying because, yeah, 800 rating sucks. But the real power, well, 1, you can get cultists at tier 2. 2, you can increase capacity at tier 2. At tier 3, you can get access to war leaders, so you can get 2 cultists fairly quickly in a campaign. So one you would want in your army. The other one you can just like use him, set up a cult. And once he's set up a cult, you can disband him, get him somewhere else, right? Like, he's done his job right here. You don't need him in this area. The cult is set up. And with the cult set up, use the ritual summoning. Skarbrand and the Empire. Skarbrand is gonna terrorize the freaking world. And an army like this? Yeah, that's an endgame fucking army already there. It's not even the ultimate form. So I got Gorbat, I got the Thief Snatchers, I'm allied with Malagor, and I'm kind of gonna work on getting Warzag on my side over here. Yes, the glorious days of the glory days of Skarbrand have really arrived in this campaign. So you can do this in any Khorne campaign, though. Keep in mind, Arbol has this inherently, right? He has a bunch of objectives. I don't think I want to teleport right there. I don't think I want the defensive alliance with him right there. Not because I got anything with the defensive alliance, but why not make him my vassal? Have him pay for me. Now, you can do this as Skull Taker. Arbol has a teleportation mechanic inherently baked in. Beyond this, right? But here's the thing about Skull Taker. Skull Taker suffers, can't really do this in the same way because Lustria. Oh man. The woes of freaking Lustria. In a campaign. And there's Skarbrand ready to burn Averheim to the freaking ground. Because who gives a shit right here? We're gonna do Gorbad's victory conditions for him. Oh, and if you're thinking like, oh, you can't summon as many blood hosts, watch me. Like seriously, watch me in this campaign summon a lot of blood hosts this particular turn. I mean, there isn't an unlimited amount, but as I said, witness me. Do it. Now, there are still some annoying factors, not gonna deny that. Like, you know, the auto-resolve and all that, but, yeah. And the thing about, like, people, like, as I said, it's slower at the start, not overall. So just because it's slow in one turn does not mean it's fucking slow all the time. Bloodthirsters. Behold the glorious armies of Khorne. Wish I could, yeah. How many turns until that greater game of Khorne? 3 turns. 3 freaking turns. Actually, we can move in force march. Then put him right here. Well, not really. That was a bit of a mistake, but hey, we pay for that, right?
Give blood, spill blood.
So because you can maintain more armies, you can't maintain more armies. That means you can get, in a Skarbrand campaign, you can have some armies on one front, racking up skulls, not, you know, taking it slow and nice, and then you can have Skarbrand summoning dozens of freaking blood hosts in a single turn. Well, maybe not dozens because of the movement range, unless you get really lucky. But all the freaking same. But plenty of armies in a single turn. Oh, that's more movement range. Nice. Also, multiple cultists can summon multiple cults. So the Empire and Vlad really are finished. Drakenov is going to be drowned in Bloodhost. And in fact, I would dare say the Bloodhost playstyle, again, it's not going to be as viable early on in a campaign, but long term? And you can put, you can't put a cult on your own settlement, but you can put a cult on an allied settlement. Yeah, that is freaking hilarious. Or a neutral settlement, anyway. So, skulls for the Skull Throne and Zarnagrud. Show up to Zarnagrud, burn it to torch it the freaking ground and all that. Perfectly legitimate. Although you may want to use one of these blood hosts, like in this kind of situation, like you might want to use. Just one of these, so Skarbrand can go loop around. Okay, actually, let's just...
Sacred Executioner! Disempower! Destroy! Withdraw!
So let's see how many blood hosts I can actually get in this campaign. Right here. In a single freaking turn. Oh boy.
Never
Blood for the blood hosts. Keep in mind, I am still gaining some skulls for all the settlements. Yeah, I think blood toasts aren't a freaking issue. Suffice to freaking say. Keep in mind, I can get more, but I kind of want an army for I kind of want this element for Skarbrand to use. But we can raise that one. Oh, and the crazy thing is, you do have that extra blood host attrition, but you can also research blood host more troops. And look, all you need is a blood host to sack one settlement. That's 4 blood hosts in that one settlement. That is not a freaking joke. I don't even need to stop over here to worry. It's like, oh, do I have enough fucking shit to you know, to do this kind of stuff, right?
Me head is splitting. I'd get out of here if I were yous.
And that was just one settlement. One freaking settlement paid for 4 of these, right? I'm not really in a downside. So, one of the things I always bitched about is like how Khorne's long-term viability was non-fucking existent. Yeah, you could play a long campaign as Khorne and make it work, but jeez. Like, yeah, outside of like summoning blood hosts and then get screwed on the economy. But here's the important thing as well. You can now afford to lose everything. Like before, your campaign would be finished if you lost Skarbrand's army. Here, you know, unless I literally have no money left and my enemies are about to march on my capital, which is a very questionable situation if you're playing Skarbrand. Pre-patch, post-patch, that doesn't matter. But the problem is beforehand, you would never really be able to recover. Here you can recover. Get access to units easier, you get access to heroes easier, you can maintain multiple armies, you get more money, fuck. Do you get more money? Like, I got 50k, 11k skulls. And that's not even the be-all and end-all, because we can go even more extreme. Like, we can instantly replenish movement range on a faction leader. We can instantly replenish his army. We can instantly summon a blood host on a faction leader. Yeah, all of that costs fucking skulls, but who gives a shit? Basically, because you got skulls. Oh baby, do you got skulls? I should. Yeah. So that ain't a freaking problem at all. Got some resources. Interesting income from looting and sacking salt. SCA. That's hilarious. Let's see what it does. Salting the earth is the final wound of a dying to the heart of a dying world. Okay, CA, that's funny. Salt. Salty bastards.
So, you've heard of Wurzak's mighty powers, has you?
And look, while it might be hard to get some vassalizations done, but jeez. And this is not necessarily the ultimate form of Skarbrand. There are more things I imagine you could do with him than this. But yeah, I do think it's a better campaign. I actually would prefer playing this versus Cult Taker any freaking day. Lustria, just Lustria, right? Inherently. But then you get like all of these things. So, early game is slower, still strong. Long term, a lot more powerful, a lot better, a lot more unit variety. Like in a couple of turns, I'll start getting Chaos Knights with Lances. I'll start getting Chosen of Khorne. I'll start even potentially getting freaking artillery if, you know, I manage it. Right, if I get this element to tier 4 in Minotaurs, right? I'll even get Minotaurs of Khorne. When was the last time you got Minotaurs of Khorne in a freaking Khorne campaign? Well, just answer me that, because I have played campaigns as Khorne since the patch, Arbolt specifically, where I have multiple lines. Even Skulltaker, I've gotten them. Skulltaker is just the slowest and not the most interesting campaign. But you do have access to the entire roster, even if you have to get 2 provinces, 1 demonic, 1 mortal to really make it work. Costin signing out.